When your star player averages 32 points per game and 12 away from becoming the second best scorer of all time in the NCAA.
There's always things to learn, things to get better at, and that's what I love about her is she holds me to a very high standard, and yeah.
Just let me do the talking to the officials. You know, that's my job. You know, so I just want to do my job.
Ever wonder what it takes to create a basketball legend? In the next few minutes, we're going to break down how Coach Lisa Bluder molded Caitlin Clark into a WNBA sensation. From record-breaking scores to game-changing assists, we're diving into the secret sauce behind Clark's unstoppable rise. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. A total of 3,951 points. Caitlin Clark scored that many while she was a college student. The worst part is that those are only the very beginning. Can you tell me what's hidden? An approach that will shake the foundations of the WNBA like no other. Even if you believe you know Caitlin Clark's tale, there's more to it than what you're seeing. This goes beyond a gifted player scoring goals. A women's basketball revolution began in high school, and that's where the story begins. Clark was more than an average high school student, she was a natural talent. There are many high school stars who fail miserably in university. Clark is not the one. She reached new heights, becoming the all-time top scorer in NCAA history. During her time at university, she amassed 3,951 points. Those records aren't just breaking, they're shattered. Wait a second, it's about more than that. The college figures that Clark compiled are just mind-blowing. Let's talk about some stats. 28.4 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game on average. More than 4 years. Just think about that for a while. Even in peak performance, the majority of players would be overjoyed to achieve those results. Her average was elevated by Clark.
When your star player averages 32 points per game and 12 away from becoming the second best scorer of all time in the NCAA.
I think what I love about Coach Bluder is like she coaches me, but she knows like when I'm not giving my best, like that's what's going to make me play really, really hard. Like, I never want to stop being coached. I never want to stop being told what's right, what's wrong, no matter how good I play, how bad I play. Like,
maybe you're thinking, all right, she's decent. What though sets her apart from every other collegiate sensation? Things start to get interesting at that point. You see, Clark's achievements are due to more than simply her natural abilities. Something else is going on here, and it unexpectedly laid the groundwork for her WNBA debut. Put it in your mind, from high school sensation to legendary NCAA player, what does it take? Natural ability? Yes, I guess that's true. A lot of effort, sure thing. One small detail, though, is going to throw this whole affair into a loop. Do you recall that I indicated that scoring wasn't the only metric in Clark's collegiate statistics? Crucial are those assist figures. The results prove that Clark can create opportunities for her teammates. Her teammates are always improved by her. Plus, talent like that doesn't appear out of thin air. Is this all there is to it? What was it that made Clark go from being a high school genius to becoming an NCAA icon? More importantly, how will this impact her future in the WNBA? It's about more than what transpired on the court. That much is clear. From high school to college to the pros, Clark's path is about more than just honing her skills. It's about shaping her into a game changer, a leader, and a fully fledged player. And that's when the action begins to heat up. Since all eyes have been on Clark's scoring records, another development has been simmering in the background, something that will completely upend the WNBA soon. The key to Clark's success isn't innate ability, you know? An unusual alliance, a coming together of ideas that has simmered for years, is at the heart of this story. And now, with Clark's arrival in the WNBA, that collaboration is going to produce results that may transform women's basketball irrevocably. Do you believe you have a good idea of what an effective coach should be? Give it another thought. Clark's game is just phenomenal, and it's not merely due to his natural talent. The entire WNBA is taking notice of this unconventional coaching style. Imagine for a second that you were completely wrong about the state of basketball strategy. The brains behind the basketball revolution in Iowa is Lisa Bluder. Bluder has been a head coach for 24 years and has a remarkable 528 victories. She has been subtly rewriting the coaching playbook for over 20 years. She is a visionary and a game changer. The key to Bluder's success, though, isn't a set of predetermined procedures or methods. Being able to adjust to different situations and play to each player's abilities is key. She's instructing basketball players, not merely the game itself. What makes Bluder's approach unique, you may ask? Obviously, the key is to be unconventional. In contrast to most coaches, Bluder does not try to impose a certain system on his players. She takes advantage of her players' individual talents by designing plans that play to their strengths. None of this is conjecture. Caitlin Clark went so far as to call Bluder a Hall of Fame coach after praising his methods. She's a coach for players. You won't be required to run a certain offense against her. That is an endorsement of Bluder's innovative tutoring technique. Not only a compliment, but Bluder's impact extends much beyond his emphasis on athletes being authentic. She instituted a system where assists are considered as important as points. Team achievement is more important than personal glory. Concerning that philosophy, it's making a difference. Put it in your mind, Bluder prioritizes teamwork in a sport where individual scoring tends to take center stage. Whoever can get their teammates the ball most often is more important than who can score the most points themselves. Having that kind of thought is what elevates average players to legendary status. And to be clear, this has nothing to do with the game itself. Bluder is a mentor in many other areas besides basketball. Women's basketball will be affected by her legacy for a long time because of the character she is establishing and the leader she is developing. Consider Clark's method of leading. There's a reason why Clark gifted Bose headphones and Nike shoes to 3 of her Iowa teammates and brought them to the WNBA draft. To be a leader, it takes more than just generosity. You can see the Bluder blueprint at work there. The intriguing part, though, begins at this point.
Iowa head coach Lisa Bluder still holds Caitlin Clark in check after a 38-point performance in their win over Nebraska.
There's always things to learn, things to get better at, and that's what I love about her is she holds me to a very high standard, and yeah.
Clark and Bluder's partnership goes beyond academic achievement in college. It's bringing about a shift in women's basketball toward a culture that values team accomplishments more than individual glory. This culture is going to have a major impact on the professional ranks when Clark takes her talents to the WNBA. Like most people, you're probably wondering, sure, this worked in college, but can it translate to the pros? The million-dollar question is, well, that. As far as Clark's early WNBA performances go, though, the answer is an emphatic yes. Those days of expecting rookies to pay their dues are over, right? It seems like Clark missed the memo. She's changing the rules of the WNBA in more ways than one. What if your entire worldview around rookie seasons was going to be flipped on its head? Clark's first game in the WNBA was historic, not merely impressive. She proved her collegiate success wasn't an exception by immediately leading rookies in assists. And here's the thing, those assists aren't merely numbers, they say it all. See, Clark isn't merely tallying up figures, it's all thanks to her. How was her most recent match versus the Sparks of Los Angeles? Fans and pundits alike couldn't help but gasp in disbelief at the triple-double. We're just at the beginning of the season, and this is her second. Hold just a second, there's more to the tale. Clark's achievements extend beyond her natural abilities. Something greater is demonstrated by it. Keep in mind the unconventional strategy that Coach Lisa Bluder employed? You know what? It's really paying off. The greatest step of them all is confirming Bluder's coaching philosophy, which stresses adaptability and playing to each player's skills. Clark isn't merely surviving, she's prospering, which demonstrates that Bluder's prediction about the future was correct. A natural question to ask is, how is Clark's college experience translating to the pros? No, it's more than that. It's a complete metamorphosis. Everyone on Clark's team is benefiting from the refined leadership style she developed under Bluder's tutelage. Not only is the Indiana Fever acquiring a superstar player, but they are also acquiring a floor general who elevates the performance of everyone around her. This mindset isn't typical of a newbie. Clark isn't attempting to prove herself by taking center stage. Like Bluder instructed her, she is instead focused on the team's success. All throughout the league, people are taking notice of this strategy. You should not rely on my word alone. Watch the interviews that Clark did after the game. She is often praising her coworkers, showing appreciation, and emphasizing the importance of working together for a common goal. That's the Bluder plan in action, not merely excellent public relations. However, the most intriguing part begins at this point. More than just a collegiate success story, the Clark-Bluder link is...
Well, my message is let me do the talking to the officials. That's my job, so I just want to do my job.
Like, there's other people that maybe can't take that, but that's what I want, and I embrace that.
The world of women's basketball is being transformed by it. With her meteoric rise to stardom in the WNBA, Clark is introducing a fresh perspective and culture to the league. Put it in your mind, how frequently does a rookie start altering team dynamics the moment they step foot in the league? Clark is causing the WNBA to change its game in response to her. That is quite an accomplishment. The success of a single player is insignificant. Great mentorship is at the heart of this story. Coach Bluder helped Clark become more than simply a player. She made her a leader, a potential game changer, and a powerhouse who could shake up the sport at the top level. And how about that effect? The start is here. Clark is not only inspiring a new generation, but she is also captivating fans and frustrating opponents. For young basketball players, seeing Clark is about more than simply seeing a fantastic athlete. It's about seeing a new standard for the sport. In light of this, where does women's basketball go from here? The million-dollar question is, well, that. It appears like a new age is about to begin based on Clark's initial success. A time when leadership is highly prized alongside scoring, and where the boundaries between positions are excitingly blurring, where team play is more important than individual statistics. There is more to the Clark-Bluder collaboration than simply winning games. A model of mentoring, it is revolutionizing the sport of women's basketball. Bluder's method goes beyond mere mechanics. He molds his players into influential leaders who can change the game at the biggest level. The anecdote exemplifies the significance of mentor-mentee relationships and adaptive coaching. There is more to Clark's WNBA success than her natural abilities. It's evidence that Bluder's strategy for the future is effective. She has achieved remarkable results by establishing a culture that values team accomplishments above personal glory. More than just setting records, Clark is making waves in the WNBA. She is laying the groundwork for future coaches and athletes. Through her achievements, she is challenging traditional notions about women's basketball and encouraging new ways of thinking about the sport. The cascade of events.